Hello, everyone!
Hi,
Woo!
everyone.
Hi, we have wine here.
Yes, we do.
It's party time. I can make it the camera show that I wrote here is party time. To the right, to the left. Yay! It's party time. So,
Hi,
well,
Francesco.
oh, Francesco is here. Come down here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Chi Chi.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
Francesco is also here to celebrate with us. He will be on the comments. Um, and welcome everyone. I don't know if there is anyone here yet, but I'm sure you guys arrive. And please say hi when you arrive so we can know who is there, who is not, and greet you all. Um, Andrea is here too. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Nachi. So good to be here and to see you.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you are here, that you accepted to be here in my launch party with me live. I know many other friends will be here too, but it's so special to me that you are here by my side.
Always. You are one of my best friends.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Cheers for that.
Cheers to friendship.
Cheers to friendship. Cheers for this special day. I'm so
Yes,
happy that.
congratulations.
Whew, yes, I'm a little nervous too, but I think will be a great day. I think will be a great party, and we'll be able to share so many fun stories of our time together. So I think that's the most important part, that we are here to share our stories, to celebrate together, and to share this story with other women, with our friends, with our family members, because I think it's important that everyone know what is it like to learn a new language, to live in a new country.
Well, it is quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's definitely something different and something really interesting for people to know as well. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I think before we start uh, talking about our journey together and all of this, it's important that we introduce ourselves to people who don't know us yet. So I'd love to know. I know a lot about you. You are an amazing person. You talk many, you speak many languages. You lived in so many different places. And I think that's amazing. You inspired me so much. So I'd love to hear again a little bit about you, and also so other people can know you as well.
So, my name is Andrea. I'm 29 years old and I am half Brazilian, half Lebanese. I've lived in both countries, but I also have Italian, American, and English background from other parts of my family. So, until I was 13 years old, I live in Brazil with my whole family. And my dad got a job in Lebanon, so we all had to move to Lebanon. And my parents lived there until today. But as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I want to go back to my country. I want to go back to Brazil. And so I went. And then that's where I met Naichi.
Yeah, the blast of my life.
Yeah, we met in college and we've been best friends ever since. And then I've been living in Brazil. Then I went to do a master's in England. And I came back to Brazil now again, and I work now as a psychologist.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I know this story already, but it's also always great to hear it again, because
And
when I
Nachi
was
is
in college.
also and Nachi is also trying to catch up to my many moves because she keeps
Yes.
moving now from country to country. So soon it's going to be your turn.
You inspired me, so now I have to go faster to try to keep up with you. So for those who don't know me yet, I'm Nachi Eustáquio. I'm 28 years old. I moved to the US when I was 23, so it has passed almost 5 years. Sometimes I
Wow.
can't believe that I'm here for that long. But so many things has happened. I met Andrea. I was in college. We studied psychology together, and we had a great time. A lot of our stories are from that time, and we developed this friendship there because we had, we were so lucky to be able to spend a lot of time together and share so many special moments together. So I studied psychology. That's how I met Andrea. Andrea told me when we were, I think, on third year of our course about this.
It's a 5-year course, so in the
Yeah,
third
5 year.
yeah, it's a long time to become a psychologist in Brazil.
Yes, exactly. But well, I do think that Brazilian university, in terms of education, prepare you much more than a college in the US, by the way. But anyway, just wanted to leave this there. But during our third year, I think we were having a conversation on the cafeteria, and Andrea told me about this
The au
cultural
pair
exchange.
program.
Yeah, the au pair program. That she had an au pair from French Guiana. Where was she
from French Guinea. So
Yeah.
when I was 10 years old, and it was an amazing experience for me to have somebody, my dad wanted somebody to keep teaching his French and to help our French better. So he got an au pair that was from French Guinea, which is close by. And I was 10 years old. My sister was 9, and she was the one who would take us everywhere, and we would have so much fun with her. And I learned so much from her, and I miss her a lot. Unfortunately, we lost contact, but to me, it was an amazing experience, and it was a way for people to easily travel to another country and still make money, and also don't have to spend a lot on food and accommodation. So it was a really great exchange.
Yeah, so that was the story that she told me on the cafeteria, and it was like, oh my God, because I was telling her that I wanted to learn English, that I wanted to be able to travel, but I did not have money, guys. I did not have a lot of money to just go and travel and spend 6 months just studying English. So that was a perfect way for me to pursue this dream. And then at the same day, I already went to the exchange company that we had in the university. I got all the paperwork that was telling like about the exchange and the cost and everything, and I got so excited. And then but we didn't think that it would really happen. It was
I never thought, it was kind of like a bar conversation where, you're just, saying something, and Nachi was like, bling, and then, just grabbed the idea and rolled with it.
Yeah, something really clicked, and it happened. It took longer than I expected to happen, because when I first heard that idea, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to make it happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it will happen. And then we were on the third year of our course, so I waited 3 years until I finally came. So I finished my my degree. I did a fellowship in a hospital to work. I studied clinical psychology. Yeah, and then after that I came. So that's a little bit how I came to the US. And then after I was here for almost 2 years, I was here for a year and a half. I met Francesco, who is my husband. You guys saw him here. He was really supportive. He is supporting me on this new journey as well. And then he's from Italy. I'm from Brazil. We didn't know where we would land together, but everything worked in a way that we decided to stay here in the US, and here we are. And then after we decided to stay, it was another long journey for me, because I had to understand, okay, what I'm gonna do in terms of my career, how will I get a job? My English is not good enough. Should I go back to school? What should I do? Because in the beginning, the US was an adventure for me. It was an experience. After that, my plan was to go back home or to find another place to keep studying. And all of a sudden, I was staying here. And it was a really interesting moment. And it was a big struggle for me to understand how was Nachi here, a resident in the US, And I think a lot of you guys, if you're an immigrant, you go through this phase because it's overwhelming. Try to see who you
Because it's
are.
very different when you go somewhere just to, oh, it's just a 1 year experience, or like it's a limited time, or it's just like something to have, kind of like fun and to learn. But it's a whole other ball game when you're living somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. And Andrea went through this as well because she, as she told us, she was in Lebanon and then she decided to go back to Brazil. And that's how we met.
Yeah, she accompanied my phase of reintroducing myself to my own culture again. So it was, even though I never stopped speaking Portuguese, but I wasn't as fluent as I used to be. I always came back for summer holidays. But when you're in a group conversation and when everybody is speaking at the same time, and I would have to translate from, English or French back to Portuguese. And by the time I did that, the conversation had changed. We weren't on the same subject, and I had to keep doing that. So everybody thought I was really shy and quiet in the first year, but it's just, I couldn't keep up with the conversations.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Like a lot of people, oh, just a second. Yay, Teresa is here. Hi,
Woo-hoo!
Teresa. Woohoo! Oh, Bia is here as well. Hi, Bia. Love you. Francesco is here too. He's not here on our back, but he's on the computer watching us. Yay. Hi, guys. I'm so happy you were here. So yeah, it's such a different experience to readapt. And I remember you the first time I saw Andrea, I was like, oh, she's really, really shy. And the first time that I was here, like when I first arrived, I was ashamed to talk to people. People would ask me the simplest thing ever, like, how are you doing? How is your experience so far? I had no idea how to answer. I would just, freeze. That's why I put on the theme for this conversation, how to go from the poker face to fluent, because that's how I felt in the beginning, like the poker face. I just, smile and nod my head, and I didn't know how to interact to people. And this is a very hard moment, I think. So how was it for you to reintroduce in a culture that you already knew, but you were for a long time not interacting that culture, not speaking the language?
I think, one of the things that you end up missing out if you don't live in that culture is actually all the cultural stuff that does happen in that country. So, for example, actors. I couldn't name one Brazilian actor because I never really got access to Brazilian movies. And you think that may be, kind of like a stupid topic, but everybody talks about it and everybody talks about movies. And I was like,
the operas, the novellas in Brazil.
Oh my God, the novellas in Brazil. I haven't watched any, and like they were always talking about it. And in Brazil, it's a very big thing. And I was like, I feel so lost. So you have to start to watch movies from that culture to listen. I didn't know most of contemporary Brazilian music. So I know that Nachi taught me a lot. I remember, she would help me to listen to music so that I would sort of know what people were talking about. The first time I ever got drunk was with Nathalie. We went
Look what we're doing again.
Oh, yeah. So you always have to try to put yourself out there. So I didn't talk a lot, and I would be really shy in the beginning. Oh, Yada's here.
Yay.
And
just so hi, Yada. Yeah, we put a makeup on today because it's a special day.
Yeah, party time. But yeah,
hi, Mom. My mother is here. Hi, Mom. I don't think she's understanding a word, but I'm so grateful that she's being so supportive. Obrigada, mãe, por estar aqui. Muito, muito obrigada. Bia também. Beijo. Ju is here as well. Hi, Ju. I met Ju here in Seattle. She's also from Brazil. Hey. Anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, sometimes you really have to put yourself out there, and you have to really, it's not only about learning the language, but also very important to learn from the culture that you are from. So in the United States, that's something I could help Nachi with, is like watch TV series, you know, understand a little bit about politics and accents. And I try to give her a little bit of an understanding of the American culture that I had, so that, you know, she wouldn't arrive so lost.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a great tip to take away from this talk, on how I learn English and how Andrea reintroduced herself into the Brazilian culture. Really dive into the culture, because the language is not just words, it's not just vocabulary. The language is how the people from that culture express themselves. And this is a part that you just understand once you are in the culture, once you are relating with things from that culture. So listen to music, knowing the, you know, the trend things that, you know, the people like. One thing that I still don't understand until these days are American jokes. I have such a hard time understanding jokes, because it talks about the really fine details. It talks about, you know, the thing that was funny on a commercial 5-6 years ago when people from my age were teenagers, or things like that I cannot relate to. So it you know, when you are trying to learn a language, it's really important to dive into the culture as well. If you go towards this path, you will learn, I think, much faster than just, you know, getting the book and doing the exercise. I am, you are, she is.
Oh, and plus they're so boring.
Yeah. Oh, my coach is here. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Love you. So Kimberly is an amazing, amazing friend. She is my coach, and she helped me to put this business together. And she was the one who had the idea for me to have this launch party online. So thank you so much, Kimberly. I'm doing it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So just keep going on our conversation about tips on how to learn English, and how we really started living into the culture. Andrea, besides this that we are just talking about, what are other things that you think are important when you are trying to learn a new language or adapt in a new country?
Well, I think learning the language, understanding the culture, and also you have to understand that basically it's kind of like the title of this live is a lot of poker face.
Yeah.
And you need about to understand a few basic words. If you understand a few basic words, you can do with it. When I went to England, and we had this study on cultural differences, and they say that, you know, it doesn't matter if you speak proper English, because it's easy to understand people even if they don't have a very good English. What you have to do is have a few basic words to sort of understand the situation and to be able to communicate an idea. So to me, I think this is a really good tip. I think people should have, is that they shouldn't be afraid to try, even if they have to get drunk, but at least, you know, go out and the important thing, I think, is to always practice and to put yourself out there. Like I was telling Nathalie, like when we went to sort of like a cultural event in Brazil, which is called the Interpsico, it's kind of like a place everybody goes to have fun, to drink, to play games. And I was terrified. I was literally terrified, because first I had never, you know, drank all that much. I never went to such an intensive social gathering. But it's important to sort of put yourself in situations where you can't back out. So yeah. I would have to go there, and it was in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you remember the first Interpsico, but yes. It's like far, far away from São Paulo. It's like a 4-hour drive into a very small town where a whole bunch of college students get drunk. And so I had to socialize. I had no other alternative. I would use Nachi, you know, as a big helper. Yeah. So I'd be stuck to Nachi a lot of the time. But it helps also if you have a friend that you trust and that you can relate to, sort of to lower your anxiety. So that I would also suggest a lot. And then when I went to England, I had a lot of friends who didn't speak English very well, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Indians, but especially the Chinese who had a very big difficulty of speaking English. And so I would help them a lot and give them a lot of tips. And when I would go to places, they would love coming with me because then they would feel secure that they have at least one friend that, you know, can translate for them if anything goes wrong.
Yeah. And that's so important. And I can relate to that so much because when I first arrived here, it was a shock for me because I thought that I had learned a little bit of English before coming here, but people talk so fast in real life. and it's hard to pick up. And I remember the day that my host mom, because I live with American family on my first and second year here. And after 2 weeks that I was here, she went to work and she was like, "Oh, I will drive you to the mall." And then, hi, Deborah! Hey, Debbie's here. Thank you so much for being here, Debbie. If Silvio is there too, hi, Silvio. If Elenildo is with Yara too, hi, Elenildo. So the first time she left me alone on the mall, and she had my phone number, but I was so afraid to talk on the phone and to not understand her. And I remember so clearly, I was hungry and she was like, "Oh, just have a sandwich or something on the mall. And after 2-3 hours, I will call you and I will pick you up right here." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, if I get lost, I don't know how to come back. And I have no idea how to ask for a lunch." I look at the menu, I started sweating because I didn't know what was written there, you know, like all those different type of breads and cheese, Havarti cheese, you know, like it was like, which kind of cheese is that? And then I remember pointing to the lady on the restaurant what I wanted from the menu. And she was like, "Oh," she was asking me the options because it came with a side dish, if I wanted fries or if I want a salad, and was like, "I don't know." And she was, you know, but she was so patient with me, and I was terrified to talk to her, but she was really patient with me. And she said salad, fries, and I understood, and I got to eat. You know, and even though I was so scared and sweating and nervous, I managed to get something to eat. And I managed to go back to the same place that my host mom was supposed to pick me up. So, you know, even if you are terrified in the beginning, do it anyway. You know, the first time I went to get a bus with my friend, her English was as terrible as mine, and we were mimicking. We didn't know how to explain the place that we wanted to get out of the bus, but we managed. You know, we always find a way, and it's interesting to see now, looking back at that time, to see how I evolved, you know, and how I learned. You know, and sometimes it's really hard to even explain how it happened because it was through experience. Oh, Kimberly has a question here. Oh, yes. Now I feel much. Oh, wow. It gives such a power to us to see that even when even if you were nervous and you do it and you realize that you were able to do it and everything, you know, went just well, how empowered you feel, you know, and this is the motor that keeps you learning, that keeps you doing more things. It's true. Thank you, Kimberly, for putting that out. Yeah. So one thing that I was thinking that we could share to people as well is the other things that we did when we were having classes together before I came here that really helped us, really helped me to learn and to start understanding the culture. So do you wanna say a little bit why you decided to take those exercises and activities?
So when Nachi was super excited and bubbly about the idea of becoming an au pair, she wanted to do English classes. and I spoke English very well, but I had never given in my life English classes. I thought English classes were extremely boring. So I said, well, I want to do a fun way of teaching Nachi English, something that would be fun for me and for her, because grammar is very boring. So I decided, and like I said, if she knew a few basic words, she could understand it by context. So what I tried to do was, first we got some Disney movies, because I thought, children movies might be more accessible and they might talk slower, although some not so much. but
I had watched before too.
Exactly. So, everybody watches Cinderella, the 101 Dalmatians, and I was like, she already knows the context, she already knows the story. So let's see what she gets out of the sentence, because she already knows basically the context and what basically they're saying to one another. And it's a way to train yourself to understand something with already having the security that you know what everything is about. So she had already seen those Disney movies, so no surprise there. It was just about teaching her a lot of words, and then, asking her how much of these sentences she understood, because we were grown up, so it had been a while since we watched those Disney movies. But anyway, so I don't know.
Just a second. Hi, Gemma. Welcome here.
So I don't know how it was for you to watch these movies and try the exercise that I went. So now it's up to your point of view.
Yeah, no, it was great. And I had a friend, Yara, was taking the classes with me. So we would go to the library in the college and watch the movies together. And we would look to each other's faces like we are not understanding anything. But we knew what was coming. The vocabulary started somehow making sense in our minds. And after that, we had to write a sentence, write a little essay to Andrea. And it was, it was great, because there I started to, starting to get the vocabulary inside of my head. And it really made a difference to me. And also songs are incredibly amazing to learn a new language.
I did a mistake in the beginning.
Yeah.
The first song I chose was not a good idea.
Yeah. Hi, Gina. Welcome here. So it was not a good idea, the song.
No, because I spoke English very well, I didn't understand the question of speed in language. And I chose a song that I thought, this song talks about all the colors. And so I could teach colors to Nachi and to Yara through a song. But the song was really, really fast and they couldn't understand anything.
Yes, and that was the poker face again, because we're like, what? We had no idea what's going on here.
Yeah, so I was like, no, bad choice. But now Nachi has heard the song again a couple of years back, and now she can understand everything.
Yes. And it's good to go back and see the things you were learning in the beginning and see how it changed. And then we, instead of Mika, because we are listening songs from Mika, we moved to the Beatles.
Yes, I thought the Beatles. They have easy lyrics. The songs are slow. So I said, man, I have to find some really, really slow songs.
Yeah, but it worked. So this is another very cool tip. Music, it's awesome. Music's great. Also, TV shows, YouTube channels for people from people that you like. If they talk about, makeup and you like makeup, go watch their videos. It really starts putting you inside the culture, and you start getting vocabulary on things that you like. So putting personal interest with the language, it just, your vocabulary just goes boom, because you have the motivation. So I think the secret is to, find the things that you like and introduce the language in the things that you like, because then you have the motivation to keep going, to keep learning.
Yeah, and I think that if you put it in context, it helps a lot. And vocabulary, it's mainly about repetition, and that part is actually quite boring. But nowadays, you have a lot of applications. My sister recently moved to Japan, and she would do every day, like she would follow an app where she would learn Japanese words, and they kept repeating and repeating, and that's how she kept, studying Japanese. And I think nowadays, with technology, it's so easy because they already have a mechanism to see the words that you don't know so well and to keep repeating those more than others. So applications nowadays are really easy to work with. And then you can use applications to sort of strengthen your vocabulary. And then you can, use videos, music, and things to try out to see if your English is good and to sort of be able to use it. Because one of the things that's always very important, to recommend to people is that you need the context. You need to sort of put yourself in something that you enjoy and to sort of test your language, because if you don't use your language, it kind of dies out. So every time I came back to Brazil after spending, my holidays with my family in Lebanon, I would be speaking so much French, so much English, and I would spend a whole month without using my Portuguese. And then I would go back to Brazil, and then Nachi would always say, like, Andrea, you're speaking so funny now. I was like, oh, wait, I have to sort of like readapt and, learn again. So like if you don't practice something, it kind of dies out a little bit. So your brain, if it's not using that material, it kind of starts cutting it out. So it's like, oh, this is useless. So it kind of like throws it away or put it really back in your subconscious. And then you kind of like, oh, I have to reactivate that.
Yeah, so practice, 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 and practice again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Kimberly has a question for us. She says, what are your favorite language apps you recommend? I personally love Duolingo. It's a phone app that you can use. And I used also to learn Italian. And I think he gave me a lot of vocabulary and the structure of the language. We start to get the structure of the language. And I also used a lot in the beginning when I was learning English. Duolingo really helps. I don't know, do you know any other one, Andrea, that you like?
No, I don't really use language apps anymore.
She is Harry Potter on a women's version. She speaks all the language. She doesn't need Duolingo. But one other thing that is really nice, and I had with Andrea, was someone to look for, like to inspire. Andrea really inspired me in terms of learning new languages, because I used to see her speaking to her sister in English, and then she would write notes in French. I was like, damn, how this girl knows how to speak so many languages. I want this too. And I think this gave me a lot of motivation to learn another language. And she was so kind and nice to, open her life and the door to, to teach me, to inspire me. So it was, it was great. Yeah. So have someone to inspire you, that you can look for and say, wow, I want to speak like this person. I want to do what she's doing. Keep following this person, ask for help. I think this really helps. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I think one of the big problems is that one of the big barriers that people put on themselves is that they have to get things right. So the pressure of being right, of knowing, really does not help people sort of go forward, because it's kind of learning a social skill that is asking for help. So never be afraid to ask for help under any circumstances or to anyone. Obviously, if the person's not nice, you can avoid that person. But usually people are very nice and they're very open. And I'm really happy that, Nachi was so inspired. I really didn't think, it would make such of a difference. And, it's kind of just an idea that you throw out there. And Nachi's an amazing person. Like, she's somebody I really, really admire. I think much more than she admires me, because she came from, like a very harsh background. She fought her way through. She was one of the top students in our class. And I was just really lucky to be born into a multicultural family. So that really didn't have much to do with me. It's just my parents already spoke different languages. They came from different cultures. So I had to learn it from a very young age. So I never really had to do the effort of really learning. But Nachi was somebody who was, already an adult, who really got inspired and who really ran after it. So I think that's really amazing of you, Nachi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. So Kimberly gave us a good tip. Oh, sorry. I showed the wrong comment. She said that mesmerized is one of her favorite. So now you guys, if you want to learn another language, go to check out Duolingo and also Mesmerize. They are great tips. Gemma, so nice to have you here. I hope to see you next time on the next live. And Deborah is here. Hi, Debs. Yay, you are here. So she's asking, what's the biggest challenge when learning a language? Well, the biggest challenge for me was to fight my own anxiety and show up to the interview, show up to, go to the restaurant and ask for the thing that I wanted from the menu, take the bus, and, go to school by myself, go do those things that required the English that I thought that I didn't have, but it was actually developing. So I think for me, the biggest challenge was to fight my emotional state of anxiety, because once I passed through this anxiety phase, that was like, oh, okay, I will be okay. I will find my way through. Then the language really started flourishing inside me, and I think we think that a lot of things in our lives are really hard to learn, or hard to do, or if you want to achieve a dream, you think that it's impossible, but it's in our head, and I'm the proof that is in our head, because I think 6-7 years before, if I would tell someone that I would move to another country, that I would be fluent in other 2 languages, and that I would be launching my business to empower women, people would say, oh my gosh, you're crazy. This is not going to happen. Like, look where you are. And it's happening. So I think believing that you can, it's already a huge step. And this was the biggest challenge for me when I wanted to learn English. In the beginning, I did not believe on myself. I did not believe that I could learn English, that I could be live talking in English to many people on the internet. I could not believe that this was possible. But it is possible.
You couldn't even understand the music of Mika, and now you're doing it live in English.
I didn't even understand a song. That was talking about colors, like blue, white, yellow, green. And Andrea, how about you? What was your biggest challenge, not in terms of learning a language, because I think you learned when you were a baby, since you since
so
a child.
It's hard to remember that.
Yeah, but adapting to another culture, I think we can respond that way in your case.
Well, like I said, I think for me as well, the biggest challenge was putting myself out there, was accepting the challenges and really making, I think, the effort of, passing by your fear, because your fear is always there. So for me, it really was that, especially adapting myself in Brazil. Once you've done that, then it becomes really easy to do it in a different country. So when I moved to England, when I moved to England, I heard I moved country twice. So I moved to Lebanon, which was very, very difficult. And then I moved back to Brazil, which I thought was going to be super easy because I was Brazilian. But it turns out it had its quirks. But then my third time, when I moved to England, it was so easy because I didn't have this fear. I wasn't, so preoccupied. Obviously, I already knew the language, but I didn't know so much about the English culture. And so what I did was I took an English class. I told myself, I have been living in Brazil for 7 years. I only speak it from time to time with friends of mine from Lebanon or from other countries, you know, by email or by chat, but I haven't written in so long and I don't know so much. So it's like, why not do the English class, you know, that they give to foreigners before going in? And it was amazing because I had a lot of interesting classes and I met a lot of people from many different countries, especially China. And I got to help them and I got to be able to, you know, like I understand how they felt because I felt that way so many times. And I was so happy that I could, you know, help them transition and help them understand the language and even the culture. Because, for example, for the Chinese, there was something that's really funny because in Western culture, it's very impolite to make noises when you eat. But in Chinese culture, it shows appreciation towards food. So the more noise you make, the better it is. And I knew that in England, if they went, you know, to eat with English people, that would be a source of a lot of discomfort. So I would, you know, give them tips on, you know, like cultural tips. So it was like, oh, like when you go, so I told the Chinese, like when you go to this friend's place, please try to not make noise when you eat. And with the British people, I would tell them, you know, try to be noisy. Try to be noisy and don't be afraid if they make a lot of noise because that's very normal and that's a very good sign. So sometimes, and I think this is very also important when you're going to another culture because some things are very different. There are a way of thinking from that culture that only they in their culture know and understand. And you'll be able to understanding these differences in terms of your culture is very important.
Yeah. And I think you tapped on a topic that is really, really important, which is community. Community is so important. And of course, in the beginning, it's hard to build a community because you just landed into a place that you don't know anyone. But it's extremely important to go to places. And, you know, the internet it's you know, a dreamland in terms of finding places where you can interact with people, go to meetups, you know, entering Facebook groups, and start to build a community of people who can understand you. It's not like you don't need to start making friends with natives right away. You can start making friends with people who are also immigrants, who are also there living the same experience that you are, because then you realize that you are not alone, that you are not going through this struggle by yourself, that are many other people who are experiencing the same thing. And this can give you a relief, you know, like, oh, yes, I'm like,
but I would say something important on that is that we have to be careful because if you go to your own community and you start speaking Portuguese, for example, in Naji's case, she's Brazilian, so she met up with the Brazilian community. It gives you a very big sense of security, but it also doesn't motivate you to learn English so much, to sort of know other people, because sometimes you feel so scared that you just stay within your own community. And this is now that I was a little bit more secure in England, I was like, I don't want to stay with Brazilians because I already know a ton of Brazilians. I live in Brazil. I'm going back to living in Brazil. I want to learn about different cultures. I want to be with different types of people. I want to understand, you know, how different worlds work. So I made an effort not to stay with the Brazilian community, but to try to go to communities that were completely different. Because if you fall into that trap, then it's kind of like going to Brazil in the United States.
Yeah, making a little Brazil or a little Mexico, a little Italy. It's true. Yeah, so it's not the language that makes you, you know, bound with other people. You can go and find a community within other interests that you have. For example, if you like photography, try to join a group of people who are photographers, and, you know, and then you learn also the language and create a community within that, and also, you know, put together an interest that you have, so it's not going to be boring or too hard. Gina, hi. Yes, I'm based in the US. I don't think I said that in the beginning of the video, but I'm a transition coach in transition because I lived for almost 5 years in Seattle area. I was in the suburbs of Seattle in a city called Redmond. And now my husband and I, we just moved to Hawaii. So we are here. I'm here right now. I'm in Hawaii and I'm in transition. I'm on a temporary house right now. So we are looking for a place to stay. I don't know anyone here yet. So all these tips that I'm giving to you guys, I'm practicing myself because I'm here as well. I'm here fighting through, um, making this place my home, because a lot of people say, oh, Hawaii is paradise. But it's all relative. We are so happy we are here. But there are many other practical things that we have to work to make, our lives really settle and really say, okay, we are living here. So yes, I'm based in the US and I'm originally from Brazil. Thanks for the question. And Teresa asked the question in Portuguese. I will translate to you guys. He is asking, how was it to be a foreign Latina in a country who doesn't accept so easily this type of immigrants? And what do you miss most? So let me see. I think because, I'm a Latina, but I speak Portuguese. The It's not so harsh on me. I think if you are a Spanish speaker and if you are from Mexico, I've seen it. You suffer a lot more, weird looks and things like that. I didn't feel that so much. I was in a very protected community, I would say. But I do think that is a problem that we experience here being a Latina immigrant in the US. I think and I used to do this a lot. I'm excuse myself so many times. Like, oh, I'm sorry for my English. I'm sorry that I'm late. I'm sorry for everything, and I don't know exactly if this just a Latina problem or a women problem, because I do think that we say sorry too many times. And that we feel insecure because our background. But every day I feel that we should stand up and speak up for ourselves, because people will not understand us if we don't speak up for ourselves. And that's why also I decided to move my career path and be a transition coach and to work specifically with immigrant women, because I do think that we need help. We need help to speak up, to be proud of ourselves, to be proud of where we are. I'm proud for being a Brazilian. I don't want it to be in America at all. I don't want it to have a perfect English at all, because I'm proud of who I am. And I think this is a process. And I do think that right now, in this moment of history, I don't want to get political, yeah. But in this moment of history, it's time not just for women Latina, but also for, men, for our community to get together and to fight for equal rights to everyone, because America is great, because everyone who come here wants to work hard, wants to make this place a better place. And we are leaving so much behind, like my best friends, my family, they are all there. And I think this is something that happened with so many other people that are here as immigrants. So I think, being a Latina for me today it's a reason for being proud, and is a reason to fight for this big community, because I know I'm not alone. I know I've been very lucky to, don't. I was never treated bad or anything in this country because of that. But I do know that many other people felt like that and was treated badly. And I do not accept that. And I'm part of this country. And, I don't think that this should happen anymore. And that's why I'm speaking, and that's why I'm working on this. And yeah, it makes me really passionate, this topic, because I do think that we should fight for this.
No, it's
so thank you, Teresa.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa, for asking that. And what I miss the most, I miss my family and my friends. I think that's the thing that I miss the most. I would love to have Andrea here by my side and to have my
Oh
entire
yeah.
family in this party. But I think thanks to technology, we can still see each other and talk to each other and keep connected. So that's the thing I miss the most. Miss you, Teresa. Francesco, great advices. Thank you. Uh, oh, hi, Gina. You are an immigrant coach as well. Well, we should connect. Thank you so, so much for being here. Elena. Oh, Elena is Italian. Hi, Elena. Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, her name, we should say Helena. It's not Elena. Elena is how we say in Portuguese. It's like my name. My name is Nathalie. People here call me Natalie. It's not Natalie, guys. It's Nathalie. Okay.
Nachi for the
Nachi.
intimates.
Yes. Nachi. Nachi for you all.
So Nachi, like, what is exactly a transition coach?
So, a transition coach is a person, well, I come from a background in psychology, so I think just want to put this out there because I'm not the traditional coach, I would say, because I love to work on the emotional piece of the transition. So, but a transition coach works on the transition. It's obvious, but uh, let me give you some examples. When you move from one country to the other, as we were discussing before, you feel a shock. It's like, what's going on here? And then in the beginning, there is something called honeymoon phase that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in this place. Let me take pictures. Let me go. Like I wanted to go to the Space Needle when I first arrived in Seattle and see the bridge that was shown in Grey's Anatomy. I was so excited. And then after this moment passed, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know the bread that I like. I don't have any friends. I don't speak the language. I don't know how to look for a job. And this just feels overwhelming. And that's how that's the moment that a transition coach comes in, because I'm the person who helps you to break these things down and put goals and understand, okay, in 6 months from now, what am I able to achieve? If I want to get a job and I just arrived here and my English is not good enough to go to an interview, I don't feel confident enough to go to an interview. What do I have to do to get there? And I will help you break those steps down. So every week and every month, you will be able to see how you are progressing, how you are getting closer to your goal, which is, it can be, anything related to transition. If you want to learn English and you don't know how, or, it's going to social situations is making you anxious, what do you have to do to start being able to go to those social situations without feeling so anxious? And, really developing a plan to make that happen. And I have a friend who told me one day, because I was telling him, I was like, oh, I want to run a marathon, but, I run a week very well and the other I don't run very well. And he was like, oh, you should get a coach. And I was like, really? But why do you think a coach is so important? I think I have just to do it, get a plan and follow. And he told me, well, if you do by yourself, you will feel like a roller coaster, right? One week you do really well. Every Monday you will be so excited to go run. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're like, oh yeah, I'm so tired. Maybe I will not go today. And if you have a coach, every week you will meet with a coach and you will talk to him. Well, what did you do this week? How was it? What was hard? What was easy? So the coach will help you to keep on a linear curve of progress instead of going on a roller coaster. And this impacts you so much in terms of your emotional being, in terms of your confidence, your self-esteem, because you will see every week that you are on a step towards your goal. And, having coaches, it really changed my life. Having Kimberly in my life, Kimberly is my coach for the past 7 months, and she's helping me with this business. It really changed, changed everything for me. And that's why I decided to do this for people, because I do think that having a coach helps you so much. I don't think that anyone has to struggle and, um, feel
And
depressed.
without knowing, Nachi
Um,
was in a way my transition coach when I arrived in Brazil.
yeah,
So I
see,
guess
I was not even
she was,
knowing that I was a transition coach, but I am a transition coach for almost 10 years already.
yeah, because when I arrived in Brazil, I felt really lost and alone, and my Portuguese wasn't, up to date, and I didn't understand so much about the culture. And that she would be really patient, and she would be with me in college, and we would talk through it. But obviously, for us, it was just a friendship. But in a way, I guess you've done this job a long time.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know that I was doing that at that time, and that's was one of the things that made me change my career path and become a transition coach instead of just a therapist, because I want to work with this specific population, because I had so many friends coming to me and saying, Nachi, what I should do now? How do I look for a job? How can I get into this master's degree that I want? Help me. And I received so many messages. I posted a few videos 1 or 2 years ago talking about how I enrolled my university here. What did I do? And we there are not so much information out there about this, and I think we need help. We need help, and especially like in Seattle, I was living in an area where a lot of women were coming. They were recently married, or they were a young family. And Seattle is a big tech. The tech industry is growing so much, and it's mostly men who are being hired to these big companies like Microsoft, Google, and they are bringing their families here, and usually are women who went to the college, who had their careers there, and they leave everything on their countries and they come with the family, but then they end up lonely in the house, not speaking the language, not having a job. And I just see so much depression around that, and I don't think that this has to happen. I think that we are so powerful, that we have so much to give to this country, to this world, to people around us, that it's just not fair with us, and not fair to people around us who will miss all the power that we have to give. So this really inspires me, and that's why I'm a transition coach. That's why I became a transition coach.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah. So Kimberly is saying something here. It's ever it's ever more important for you to work not now than ever. We need all immigrant women, all women, to be empowered, to have their voice. So thankful for your work. Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly. Yes, I agree with you. I'm extremely passionate about this theme. And, I think this is something that a lot of people say when you are becoming an entrepreneur, and launching your own business, your own practice, to discover what is your why you are doing this. And I think I'm doing this because I'm a woman, I'm an immigrant, I know the struggle, and I don't want to see other women going through what I went through, to be able to trust in myself and understand that I can do whatever I want, even if English is not my first language, even if my psychology degree couldn't be translated here. This doesn't matter, because I believe that I can do that. I can inspire, that I can touch other people's lives. And I think that this is the important thing in the end. It's always the important thing. So thank you, Kimberly. uh, Francesco, yes, thank you. Tachi, you are here. Yay, girl. Thank you for being here. Uh, Not going through it a lot. Yes. And this is so important. A coach, a coach, when you have a coach, you know that you are not alone. You are not going through that alone. If you know you are going to that interview and you are so scared, you have someone to hold you accountable, you know, that will hold your hand and that will tell you it's okay. Just go and do your best. And sometimes it's hard when, you know, we have our families in another country who doesn't understand exactly how it is to live in another country, how it is to be an immigrant. And, you know, sometimes you have your husband there, but it's different. You know, there are things that we live that is different, that is hard to share. And I think having a coach is having someone who will not judge you, who will not put a pressure on you in a negative way, and who will, you know, always push you up, who will always motivate you, trying to inspire you, trying to move you forward. And I think
And I
that's the
think
beauty of.
also a lot of people end up giving up, you know, along the way. A lot of people suffer a lot when they transition because it's a very, very lonely experience to move to another country because you lose all your references. Like, you don't have your family, you don't have your friends. So it's extremely lonely in the beginning. And for people who is the first time they live by themselves, not only do they, you know, don't know anybody, but they have to learn so many new skills, you know, of tidying up the house and, you know, making your own dinner and, you know, not having the company that you usually have and, you know, not having somebody to call and to just say, hey, because of the time difference. Sometimes the
Yes.
time difference doesn't allow you to call your friends or family. So I think a transition coach would probably have been really great for me as well when I, you know, moved back to Brazil, to sort of have, you know, someone to say, hey, you know, you can do this, you can make this, you know, try this, try that. Because I make so many mistakes. And sometimes I couldn't call my parents because of the time difference. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do now?
Yeah, and me too. Like, I committed so many mistakes, and it took me such a long time to realize that I could do things, you know, that I could go to that interview that I was afraid of. I could go to that class that I thought I would not be able to understand, that I could go to that party that, you know, and I could have fun with other people and I could make new friends, you know, and it took me a long time to understand that I was able to do those things. And when you have someone to tell you that you are able and to show you how you're going to do it and how it will work, and you can see now on a bigger picture, it makes a whole difference. Because I usually say that when you are in the middle of the tornado, you don't see the outside of it, and when you have someone to see and to give you perspective, it really makes a difference in your life. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
thank,
but it
thank
sounds amazing, your new job.
yeah, I know, I'm so excited.
Yes, don't forget to tell me all about it. You know, and I
Yes,
can't wait to see your new website.
I know. Oh, my website is it's working already. So it's Nathi Eustáquio, Nathi Eustáquio, EUSTAQUIO.com. If you guys want to know about more about what I do, and you know, I have blog posts there as well, and a lot of information about me. So if you want to check that out, please go to my website and check. I'm also on social media. So obviously I have this page on Facebook. I also have a group that is for immigrant women only. So if you are an immigrant woman and you are watching this, it's called Empowering Immigrant Women. And you can ask to be added in the group. That will be a pleasure to have you there. There I post a lot of tips on how to, you know, start being part of a community, how to take care of your health, being living abroad, how tips on how to learn English, and many other things. So if you are an immigrant woman, please join us there. And I'm also on Instagram on Nathi Eustáquio. Yes.
So I think somebody asked a question, Nachi.
Oh. Oh my gosh, I didn't see. It wasn't going. Juliana. Oh, little hearts. So who? Okay. So who will be a client you might work with, Nachi? Okay. So a client who I might work with is, of course, I'm working only with women right now. So if you are about to move to another country, or if you are about to move to do a big move in your life, you are a potential client. If you are, feeling overwhelmed with something and you are already an immigrant, you are a potential client. Like if you want to find a way to finally learn English, finally being part of a community, if you want to start working on getting a job and you don't know how to start looking for jobs, or restarting your career here, you are a potential client. If you are experiencing health issues like I did in the past, that I had a cyst on my ovary and I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to understand the medical system here, you are a potential client. So if you are going through any micro transitions within the big transition, which is to move to another country, you are a potential client. Because if you have help, if you get help in those moments, you will just pass through this phase much faster, much stronger, and with much more confidence. So that's my potential clients. So if you are watching this and if you feel that you are in one of those moments, reach out to me, send me a message. We can talk about that and find a way for us to start working together. Deborah asked a question too. How are the couch sessions structured? Okay, thank you, Deborah, for the question. So I have three different segments right now. I have a 3-month program, which is we have weekly sessions for 3 months. And we start working on your goal and start going through it. So you start developing steps and things that you have to do and have to achieve towards your goal. And we also tap on emotional on the emotional side of it, because it's really important to have goals to yourself, but it's also important to understand why those goals are important. Why do you want to this? If you are ready for that, and what is holding you back. So we work on all those things, because that's how we really achieve things, when we really understand why we want it and how to do it. So that's the program on 3 months. That is basically the structure of it. I have also a program that is 1 month long, so we have 4 sessions. And on this program, it's mostly understand how you are feeling, what is overwhelming you, how to change it, and create a plan. I don't follow with you in the plan because it's just a month, but it's, I work with you on understand what are your possibilities, why you are feeling the way you are feeling, and how to develop a plan to change the way you are feeling to the way you want to feel. And I have also 1 session model. So if you want to just get a taste of what a coach is, I have a 60-minute session that I send you a big questionnaire with many things for you to answer, so I can understand where are you in your journey, and you can go through all of that and understand what do you need to do to move forward. So it's more to get you unstuck on where you are. So those are the 3 major programs that I have right now. So thank you, Deborah, for asking. Kimberly, thank you for putting my website out there. This is my website. Oh yeah, coaching sessions. Yeah, I understood. See, I understood. It's totally fine. So yeah, guys, oh my gosh, thank you so much for all the questions. I'm so happy that you guys all ask questions, put yourselves out there as well. Andrea, thank you so much for being here with me. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
Oh, it was amazing. I was so happy you asked me to be here. Like, I really don't know what to say. It's so amazing to see your transformation, Natalie. I'm really proud of you, and I'm really amazed. And like I said, you're one of the people I admire the most that
Yeah,
I
oh my
know of.
gosh. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, we have one more question. What if I know someone, but I'm not an immigrant? Yeah, if you know someone, please ask this person to like my page, reach out to me, send me the name of this person, and I can contact them. Let's create this community. If you are not an immigrant, if you know someone who is an immigrant, uh, make them to know me. I will not just be the transition coach so this person can go through sessions with me. I will also gonna post on my page very valuable information for people who are immigrant. So even if this person is not ready for be coached right now, information is power. So this person can get to know me and can get also to understand many things that can help her to improve her life. So I will keep posting on my page and on my group tips about health, career, lifestyle. So if you know anyone, please reach them out, send them a message, say, hey, I know this woman who are doing this work for immigrant women, and check her out, because I think we are stronger when we are together. So put them in touch, and let's create this big community here in empowering immigrant women. Yeah, so thank you, Kimberly, for asking this question. And before we go, I have a giveaway. It's a
Oh,
mandala.
how pretty!
Yeah. So what? I painted this mandala, and I will give away today to someone who made a comment here. So let me see. Let me write down everyone's name so I can draw the mandala. So Kimberly's here, Deborah, Francesco, Juliana, Tatiana, Elena, Gina, what else? Who else? Gemma. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that so many people came to see us. See, Andrea, we are famous.
Wow! Yeah, those are a lot of
Yara,
names matches. Oh my God.
Yara, Laden. Oh, Laden, you were here too. Oh my gosh. Wait, let me put you here. Hi, Laden. So glad you made it. So Laden is from Iran, and I met her on Toastmasters. Toastmasters
What is that?
is a place to practice public speech. Uh,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, we were doing speeches together. So Beatriz and Teresa. Okay, so Andrea, I will play a game with you, huh? So that's how we are
Oh,
gonna draw the
yeah.
mandala. So I'm gonna put random numbers here, and I'm gonna ask you to say a number from 1 to, let me see, just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So from 1 to 12, what
Okay.
number?
But aren't you going to write the random numbers first?
I did it already. Wait, from 1
Oh,
to 13. From 1 to 13.
Okay, I guess I'll go on my favorite number then. Number 12.
Number 12, Deborah! Okay, let me show you here. No, oh wait. Yes, it's Deborah ragazza. Oh, because I had two Deborahs here. I had to check. So, Deborah, you got the mandala.
Woohoo! You'll have to show me when it arrives.
Yes, yes. So I will send it to you. So I will get in touch with you to get your address so I can send it to you. Oh, Deborah, it's not you. It's not Deborah Jandaia. It's Deborah Ragazzo. I'm sorry. There were two Deborahs. Oh my goodness, that's confusion. Oh, Tati, yeah, of course, of course. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Deb. Sorry, Deborah Jandaia. It's not you. It's Deborah Ragazzo. Oh,
So sad.
next time. So thank you so much for being here, for being part of this party. So let's cheer again, Andrea.
Cheers, Nachi. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. And guys, if you know anyone who would benefit from getting more information about how to feel empowered, how to be more empowered, and whatever you are, because I think we are in the moment in history that women should get together and should, show our power. We are so powerful. And so ask them to like my page, to enter into my group. I will leave my group, my page, my website in the comments. And more than just launching my business, I'm here to start a movement, to empower women, to get together, to make our voice being heard, to make, us grow together, because I think that's the way to go. And that's
to
what I really
stronger.
Yes. I think we are strong. We are so strong already. We just have to remind ourselves to accept this power and show the world our light. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's help each other not to give up on our dreams.
Yes. Never give up. Dina, thank you for being here. You made it. Thank you. Dina is saying congrats. Super excited for you and all women empowered by you. Yes, we are stronger together. Period. Oh, amen. I'm not a religious person, but amen for that phrase. Congrats. Kimberly saying congrats. Had to do again because I just love the balloons and stuff that flew with it. Yeah, yay! I have balloons here. It's a party.
Woohoo!
Yeah, thank you, Kimberly, for being here. You are such an inspiration for me. You are such a strong woman. Kimberly is really an inspiration in my life. She came to my house doing couch surf, and we met. We became friends. She became my coach, my mentor, my friend, and I get so inspired by her. She's a traveler. She was just a few months ago. She came from Canada to Seattle, then she went to Florida, then she went to Costa Rica, to Panama. Now she's back in the US. She's going to Europe, and she's just a light in my life and in so many other lives that she touched. Juliana, congrats, Nachi. Excited for you and for everyone that you will help. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have friends that are so supportive, including Andrea and all of you guys who are here giving me comments. I was afraid in the beginning. I was like, oh my gosh, no one is going to be there. What's going to happen? And I'm just so grateful. So grateful for everything and for all your support. So thank you so much. Let's bring this mission forward. I know you guys are with me. I know I'm not alone on this, and you will inspire many, many other women in this planet. Yeah, so thank you, Andrea. Thank you so, so much for being here again. I think I already said that 1,000 times,
Yeah,
but
but thank you for
very
inviting
much.
me as well. And I guess bye to everybody then. It was an
Yeah, bye to
amazing night.
everybody. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Deborah, one more comment. So proud of you and your beautiful work. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you so, so much. I'm so blessed, so grateful. Thank you so much. And many other lives are coming, so be posted. And maybe Andrea will be with me again soon talking about other things of being an immigrant.
We shall see.
Yeah. So bye bye and cheers. Bye bye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye, everybody. It's Sunday night.
Bye. It's
Enjoy.
Sunday. Go enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever you are. Bye.
Bye.